And who are you?
I don't know. Who are you?
I am the illustrious Mikkeli's alt account. My friends call me Miqqi.
I'm
Mr.
Barry.
Alt account, if you're nasty.
Not Barry. I'm Barry, berry, as in blackberry, as in blackcurrant.
I don't have anything else for that. I don't know what rhymes with current.
Um,
Comment down
Might be
below what
Eminem.
rhymes with current, and maybe your comment will be featured in the next episode.
Yeah, that we're definitely gonna make after this one does really well.
Yeah. Anyway, shall
Back in
we
your
begin?
previous life, previous
Yeah.
vocation. Yes,
In
yeah, I think we
another
should begin.
life. All right. Seem to understand.
We will have
And
to mute this part,
unfortunately,
but
yeah. um,
which is unfortunate because it's a great song and it has a lot. And this is a good opening. Honestly, this is
it
like a classic
is.
all-time opening.
I love it when an anime's opening actually has to do with the themes at play in the show without actually
And it doesn't spoil everything.
yeah, I doubt this is a scene that actually exists in
It's
any
not.
episode,
None of
right?
this is. None of this
But
is. Yeah.
this probably tells us a lot about what we
Yeah, it
can
does.
expect about the themology of this show, right? Like she seems to be
Yep.
standing alone. She's not on the sidewalk, right? So she doesn't there's no
Unconcerned
yeah,
about
no
oncoming traffic. Yeah.
disassociative, right, to
Yeah.
reality, even if even this disconcerting, and it is disconcerting.
Well,
Look at all these ravens, right? There's
also,
dozens of them.
if you notice, everything above the level of the wires is in color, and everything below the wires is just kind of like
It just
less
fades
detail.
away, especially at her eye
Yeah.
level, right? Anything she could be looking at just fades into white, which is probably referential to how she doesn't actually see anything. Her future, her forward vision is just
Yes.
staticky.
Well,
Um,
it's I love that because it actually, like, as you say, tells us a lot about what's gonna happen in the show without actually spoiling it. Like, it's, like, self-referential, but it's not just, like, showing you what's gonna happen.
well, and speaking of the fact that it's showing us a bunch of ravens here, Japan only has one species of raven, though it has 7 species of crow on the islands. So it is interesting that it's going out of its way to show us a bird very much iconic with death and mourning. Crow gets a bit more of a break a lot of the times, where it's kind of seen more of a trickster or a mischievous creature, whereas a raven is seen more wiser and ominous, right? The old man to the young man in a way.
It's a classic omen, yeah, like,
Hmm.
yeah. And, I mean, them congregating on the wires is very loaded as well, like, when we learn more about what the why it is, that will make more sense, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the song is also interesting here. A shame you seemed to be an honest man, right? All the fears you hold so dear, right? So there's a lot of internal turmoil and what it means to have a certain identity, and that'll be a
Also,
big conflict.
if you'll notice, Lain in the computer screen has a completely different facial expression, which I
Yeah,
think
she
says a
very
lot.
serious compared to the
It
listless.
Go back about, like, maybe 3 seconds-ish, and let it play, and then pause there.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
that that shot.
Compared to the actual
Yes, the innocence.
child
Yeah, and then you see
versus
this image where it's,
yeah.
like, it's quite sinister.
Well, and it's also interesting. This is an interesting scene. This is I'm pretty sure that's a nightshirt. And
Yeah.
that looks like a long earring. This seems like a more grown up version of
Ooh,
the child.
yes. Yes, that's a big theme in this. Lain was actually super, what's the influential in terms of just like style and fashion in the 90s. Surprisingly so. Well, not surprisingly so, but like,
Oh, that's such a cool scene.
yep, yep. There's
Like
some
as you're
cool
saying,
stuff.
very influential at the time. This right here, how
Yep.
many of us have sat in front of
Oh God.
the screen, right, while mom's doing the dishes?
And
But how many of us have seen something that if we were to tell everybody else, they'd never believe us,
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then Lane tells him to be quiet and keep the secret. Yeah.
right? Knowing all of these people are watching her, annoyed that those people aren't paying attention to her, trying to get people's attention. Hey, hey, calling out.
I have lost it all. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of foreshadowing in this. But I mean, God, it's so much more fun to do it through foreshadowing than just fucking show sorry, I shouldn't swear, but than just actually just showing you what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's awesome because as we see, we're brought back to the character we're going to be introduced right here, and it's clearly, a young, fresh-faced, innocent, unenlightened. And the fashion, like you were saying, you can tell this is straight out of the
oh,
90s. She's dressed
wait
like
till you
the
see wait till you see her fucking bear onesie. She has the cutest fucking bear onesie you will ever see in your entire life.
like I
Like,
look at her like here and I'm reminded of the Digimon movie from 2001.
yep, absolutely. One of the ravens breaks free and she's like, "Whoa."
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned the color, and it's not until it gets to a certain height all the color fades out except for her.
Yep, yep,
But then when we
absolutely.
come back to her perspective,
And
there's color again.
like she's if you'll notice here, she's moving even though the hat that was just blown off of her head is not.
This reminds me a lot of the Pantheon scene where David Kim
Yep.
is seeing the like code when he's chatting with Lori.
Yes. Yes, and it's very matrix coded. You can
Oh,
see like
the
this was
face in the like
yes,
eyes
the
and the
skull.
nose,
Yep.
nasal cavity and the teeth. Actually, there's even a
Interestingly too,
meta
this came out a full
eye.
year before The Matrix. So I actually wonder if like the green was a deliberate choice.
You can see like a weird, almost like photorealistic eye come into shape right there. The
Huh, yeah.
iris and pupil. All right. Apologies if that
This
was
show has some pretty like legendary like what's the word? Like audio production and just in terms of just like there not being a lot of music, but them kind of using the like ambient noises as I
well, and you
guess a
hear it from
soundtrack
the
to the
get-go,
cityscape.
yeah. That like that and
The
it's
rumbling of the
yeah, the hum, that's a great way, that
yeah.
vibration, because as soon as I paused it and you notice that it's gone, it's like, oh, it's so much easier to like think even.
And it's a motif that they use basically as like an ever-present thing, like it's just always there. The wires are just kind of like ominously hanging over everything. And I think weird here is a reference to, and I feel like I'm kind of spoiling it, but I did reference it earlier that like the wired is a concept, and I think weird is an anagram of wired, but like
Oh,
that's just because I know. I know of The Wired, so, like,
Well, and
that's the
it's
only reason I
interesting you
kind of
should bring that up as well because weird is also can refer to the
in Norse.
Norse, yeah, the Norse rune
Exactly.
system and the magic of
Yes.
fate and tying
And it's
yourself
interesting you
to,
mentioned that because that kind of ties into the concept of coding, like runes as code,
yeah,
essentially.
the laws of reality, the magic that makes up the world. Speaking of, we can already see the influence of corruption seeping in, the red in the shadows, the
Man, like
negativity.
the art style of this show is just so fucking unique, and I'm just gonna keep swearing, unfortunately, but
It's
maybe
fine.
I shouldn't
Once
because we're demonetized.
it's you only got to worry about it in like the first minute and a half.
Yeah, I'll keep it to a minimum. Yeah, awesome shot. Just like I adore the blood spattering as like foreshadowing of what's to come, but like,
Why you
and
should
it's like
do
we know,
that.
or at this point we don't know what she's talking to, or if she's talking to something in real time, or like if this is a conversation that this character had in the past with someone.
Oh man, and
And
you
we
can
get like the
tell
contrast,
immediately, like, so it goes from dark to
like
white,
lights
so
get
that
brighter. Yep.
indicates that we're ascending.
She's becoming more detached from
Yeah.
reality. And then
And
you get the contrast between
immediately
that.
we get this
You get the
shot.
contrast between the people enjoying the physicality of the pleasure of like, the visceral pleasure of like hugging someone and like
Yeah.
versus her where she's dissociating from her body.
And then to contrast the previous scene of looking up and it getting brighter, we look down and we see the darkness shaded by red as we hear the wind blowing, something that wasn't there in the scene prior, letting us know that we are somewhere higher up. As we come back down to the ground level and the wind's no longer present.
And I love how like just it's just a black background with just neon as the like only markers in this scene. It's such a cool shot.
The letting go
I love
of
how peaceful she looks here. It's so interesting.
such a Renaissance painting.
It is. Yeah.
The
There's like
like and it's in thirds too, I'm pretty sure. It's following the rule of thirds. So like we've got the empty space, her, and then the darkness.
she's taking a leap of faith. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like the her taking off her glasses is meant to reinforce that theme of like she's giving up on her body basically.
Well, and it's interesting that none of the shadows in this image are tinted with the red. She's no longer
Yeah.
seeing the world in the malevolent. She's
It's
no longer feeling
it's
the
not
malevolent
foreshadowing
shadows.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's not
no.
foreshadowing anymore. It's
Yeah.
literally happening. Big smile on her face. And I think the fact that she's whispering here does kind of indicate that she is having a conversation in real time, but like I'm not fully sure. Either that or she's responding to a previous question, like she's come to some sort of realization.
As bam.
I love how noisy that scene is, like how visceral and like heavy the body sounds as it falls down.
As we come back to
Obviously not.
red, corrupting the shadows,
Yep.
and then
Because
bleeding
she's not going to
in
be the
with,
only one.
yeah. Well, and like you were mentioning the other time there when we tried to
It's a
record
neon
this,
sign.
yeah,
It's a neon sign there that's not actually the red foreshadowing, which I think is so interesting. Like,
just the shock, the deer in headlights, right?
because you can see it right there. Like, you can see the sheer difference between her blood and the neon lights reflected in the water. Like,
And then that's
and even the neon
contrasted
lights
right
reflected in
there.
her blood. And yeah, that was the neon light reflected in her blood. And then we get deliberately, we get the previous motif again in her bag. Yeah.
And now we're seeing
And
it.
now we get it everywhere because it's spreading. Yeah, absolutely. It's
As
even
we
getting, like,
hear the
darker, like, it's turning
distorting
into
of
a
the voices in the
the
background.
voices.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is it reminds me of there's a couple of Junji Ito episodes that are just like, oh, it's an episode happening in the middle of summer, but like it's sort of like almost like a droning sense of dread, right? Like you've got
Yeah.
nowhere else to go. You're stuck here.
It's an Well, that's the thing that they were going for with the wires, is that they're just this, like, omnipresent, ever-present hum
If you stay in a place like
like,
this,
of the other world.
you might not be able to connect.
Yep, because everyone's going online. It's just unbelievable how prophetic this show is, but I feel like
Oh,
I'm just gonna keep saying that.
I love how she
It's such a
comes
beautiful
out of
shot, yeah.
nothing, right? She
Mhm.
comes out of nothing. She steps on figurative nothing on the edge of shadow and light.
She's already dissociating, like, the character that we just saw that committed which is unfortunate, but, I
Yeah,
mean,
nothing within her shadow completely saturated in the red. It's not
mhm.
a spatter, it's a complete saturation. You cannot tell where the shadow begins and the red ends.
'Cause her mind is
Everything in her immediate vicinity is just like blanking out.
yep, her mind is already in the other world, basically.
And that hum. I love how it
That the
lingers.
it's
That nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, this is a really slow and, like, weird show, in terms of the cinematography and, like, whereas I feel like Pantheon very much, and, like, not to a detriment, Pantheon very much is just like, "I'm gonna show you my themes, and we're gonna talk about them." This show's like, I'm just gonna kind of, like, I'm gonna show it to you, but I'm not gonna really talk about it, and I'm just gonna let you linger on it and figure it out,
Is this
kinda.
meant to be
Like,
a
it doesn't hold your
super
hand.
dilated pupil in comparison to this one? Or is it just like the way that the fragmentation of the old art is? I couldn't
I
tell last time.
think
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a super dilated pupil compared to a not super dilated pupil.
I think you might be onto something, like, I think you could say that it represents the fact that her mind's stuck between 2 worlds, that she's kind of like, like, the Wired is becoming more popular, but, like, I'm not too attached to the real world, so
It's like
yeah.
if you like hold out your hand and cover one half of her face, and then right, like you can imagine the other eye looking like the one that you're looking at, whichever one you focus on. But then when you
Well,
look
it
at them
very
both, you suddenly realize that, oh, there is like a stark contrast between them.
Oh, yeah, and you see the reflection in the same spot, so, like, it must be alluding to something. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
like even when it brightens up, yeah, that is all pupil, whereas the pupil's only
Mhm,
there on that one.
mhm, yeah. And this is why we
Such
get
a
this scene
cool
where
little.
like, she's more concerned about the chatter of the real life people than the humming of the wired, you know?
And they're like, what?
It's interesting how everyone hears her, like it's the same thing, right? Like, we she can hear them even though they're not making any noise, but, like, they can hear her because she's, like, annoyed at them.
I'm trying to remember. This is a Tokyo middle school?
I think we do find that out at some point, um,
Because
but you're right, the
you can
uniforms
tell
are
based on their
specific,
uniform,
yeah.
yeah. It's based on the
Yeah.
city.
Oh, can you go back to that shot with her shadow just for a second?
Oh, yeah,
Just for a
yeah.
quick moment.
The
It's interesting
transit.
how we've now got a new motif in her shadow. I don't know what that
Yeah.
is, but, like,
The reflection of the sky. It's like pool water. Actually, it's foreshadowing for drowning, honestly. If
yeah,
you like, because
it could be,
if you
yeah.
look in a pool and you see that, right, and you're like disassociating, what's the next
Yeah.
thing that's going to happen?
It
You're going
does
to
look
fall in the
like
pool.
It does look like light refracting off a surface, like a pool, yeah, like an ocean almost, yeah.
Yeah, just like a water reflecting the sky.
Awesome shot. I love that.
You need glasses, Lain.
I don't know if glasses could fix what's happening to her brain, but
She needs to stop staring at the
okay.
sun.
We would assume that the other girls are crying about the girl that committed suicide. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Some sort of prank.
Well,
Yeah, you
unless
could
they're
see in that shot that her eyes were very deliberately, like her pupils were very deliberately the same size in that shot.
yeah, and it's got the lines and it's the two different colors to show the difference in the yeah. She was definitely
And her,
disassociating on that train.
you know what? I actually think you're right because it's probably the same reason that her hair is done on one side only.
Yeah,
It's the same motif, right? Like where
the
she's less
split down the
she doesn't
middle.
care about the symmetry, like because she's not worried about her
Well,
body,
because
or she's
it's
less
the
worried about her
conflict,
body.
right? It's all about the
Yes, the
disconciliation.
conflict. Yes, the
Yeah.
heart in conflict with itself, as Martin would say.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is what they're referring to. Some email. Huh. Very funny.
Back when, so
That's a very funny line.
kids won't the audience won't understand this because we have had cellular devices for the last 20 years, but back in the day, cell phones were more known as like a handheld personal computer in a lot of cases. It wasn't until BlackBerry really cracked the like instant messaging with one another that we went into the texting, and then iPhone started, getting hard on that. But like once upon a time, your phone was more or less just the phone app, like your contacts app, and maybe like
Yeah.
your email app, and
If you
that's
if you
it.
had like a PDA and your PDA
Yeah.
could connect to the internet, like
And that's the
which,
thing. The
was
internet was also new, and you had to pay for it, and you had to pay out the wazoo for it. A lot of us
when I
got into
tell
a lot of trouble with our parents because we would be
Yep.
accessing the internet without
Uh-huh.
permission, and their credit card would get a ding, and suddenly that there goes
You used
our
to get
ability
charged
to.
per text message, which people like literally don't believe when I tell them that.
Yep. Not only that, but it was free after a certain time. So if you wanted to chat with your friends,
Yeah,
you had to
actually, you're
wait
right.
not only till after school, but you had that window of time, but after supper, but before bedtime, where you had as many unlimited texting, talk and text. Actually, it
But yeah,
wasn't
no,
the
like
text wasn't for a while. It was unlimited phone calls for quite some time
it is
until they figured out
it is
text.
important you draw attention to that because like this show is right on the cusp of essentially the
Y2K, yeah.
pre exactly like it's just it's crazy how prophetic this is. It's like in the I kind of consider it in a similar way to like Metal Gear Solid in terms of just like just seeing just getting this prophetic vision of what the future is going to be like. Obviously it's not exact, but like
Hmm. Hmm.
it's just scary how well it predicts so many themes that like like the show holds up today because of how prophetic it is essentially.
You should at least check your mail once a day. And how many of us today cannot stand seeing a single
Con-
red notification bubble on any of our
Checking it
apps,
every 5
right?
minutes.
Yeah.
Checking it every fucking 5 minutes, yeah.
Sometimes emails could unironically be just like mail in that you didn't know when it was going to show up. You would know that your friend
Mhm.
sent you an email, but when it would arrive is anyone's guess. Sometime within the same day, typically, but sometimes it would get lost. I remember once trying to send an email once, and it took several days for it to show up in my buddy's inbox for no particular reason. Just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
snail mail.
it was often it was often, like, rules, like, putting it into weird mailboxes and stuff, but, like, that shit happens all the time, yeah.
Because I think it had to do with like dial-up connection. So like the route that
Mm.
it would take to Buddy's inbox would sometimes waiting until a switch would be pulled, so that essentially waiting for a red light in the internet connection.
Yeah. It's interesting that she doesn't like, that she's not good with computers, quote, unquote, and, like, the other kids are like, "Oh, she's such a baby, like, she doesn't, she doesn't know technology," and with what we find out later, it's fascinating. I
Well,
just
and
got
it's
an
also
email from
interesting as
Chisa.
well because in Japan, they never really moved on from calling them emails. Text messages
Well,
are
they st
emails in Japan.
Yes, yes, and also, interesting you bring that up. To this day, Japanese businesses still use fax machines
Yeah.
in
Yep.
2026.
Well, probably because they're the countries that make them. So, I mean,
Well,
gotta put them
yeah,
to
but,
use.
like, it's, it's just
No,
like
that's probably
it
not
is
true. I
obsolete
have no way to
technology.
prove
It's
that.
just kind of, you know, it's like
Mhm, mhm.
the kind of appeal to tradition, like, that
It
is
really
just so
is,
present
yeah.
in
Like,
Japan.
why throw away a perfectly good tool is a very, like,
Mhm.
traditional Japanese sort of, like,
Very much so.
mentalism.
And I think that's important to take note of when we're thinking about technology in Japan, is what we're trying to say. Anyway, let's
Yeah,
continue.
adopting new tech.
There's a bit of a, yeah, that's like a tension between the youth and the adults, is like, the youth are very willing to adopt new tech, the adults don't want to. The adults obviously being the elders in Japanese society, requiring more honor and blah, 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 blah. You should be getting an email from a dead girl. Yeah, I mean,
And
who
that
does,
also
right? Like,
but that also plays into what we were just talking about how sometimes an email would take a couple of days to show up. So like if
yeah.
someone were to send an email out and then not be able to get a response within that same day, and that was their only, connection. Like, think about how easy it is to connect to helplines or to talk to the people that
Yeah, they
are
didn't always
meaningful to
exist.
you,
Yeah.
right? Like, imagine if you had to wait 24 hours, 48 hours before you got a response, right? And that's not even
Mm.
taking into consideration like before we had telephones, when we were actually writing letters that would take weeks, months, heavens, years to arrive at someone's doorstep, right? Like, we have softened a lot when it comes to our ability to like handle a lack of like connection between people. I
Oh,
think it
yeah,
has
it
to
was
do
almost a
with the
given.
yeah, well, I think it has to do with the um nature and the quality of relationships we make nowadays. Because we don't make meaningful relationships, we're constantly searching for new ways to reify that feeling of connection. Whereas back in the day, the quality of our relationships was such that we could spend long periods of time without being around someone because we, like, it hadn't worn itself out, right? Like, there was once upon a time when absence makes the heart grow fonder was a thing, right? Now it just makes people anxious.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the questions that the show sort of seeks to answer, is like, when we take away God, like, is the, and like, I mean God in the abstract, but like, is the internet or the wired a replacement for those meaningful relationships, in like a spiritual sense? And like, the people are seeking that, like, or they do in this show, I guess, is what I
Well,
should
and
say.
that
But
is the
um
modern like quest to seek something to replace the spiritual journey, right? The whole
yeah.
God is dead and we killed him thing, right? Well, ever since we've been searching for something to replace him with.
Yeah. Which I think might even be what weird references in a weird way, like,
Hmm,
but
hmm.
yeah, anyway. She's not a very realized character yet, and that's very deliberate. It's not like she's yeah. Again, stuff that we get
Me
context for
too.
later.
Why do they
Yeah.
always make math the first subject of the day? Actually, I know why they do it. It's
I
because that's technically when you are the smartest for some reason.
Mhm. Yeah.
I hate it though. Me too, Lain. Me too. Me too. That was actually the something that used to get me into so much trouble, especially into high school. I never learned to take notes because my memory retention was so good.
I hated taking notes for a similar reason. Not because my retention was so good, but just like it felt like it was good enough,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
never really
it's like,
referenced my notes.
yeah, because they don't exist. Right? And
Well,
then
they
when you
should
go
exist in
to
your brain.
study, right? Like, well, then when you go to study for the test and you open up your notebook
Mm.
and you see that there's been nothing written in it for 7 months and you go, huh, well, I hope, because, and a lot of it is like mnemonic, right? Like, I don't know the answer to a question until the question's been asked to me, right? Like, I won't be thinking about the answer of a squared plus b squared being c squared unless I see what is a squared plus b squared, right?
I think it's really interesting in this scene how like she's very clearly doing like very advanced mathematics for their age, for what like Westerners would probably like consider to be difficult maths. Like she's doing
Yeah.
some big ass integrals there. Like
Well, the thing is, she's probably effectively in the equivalent grade of like 7 or 8. Like,
Mhm.
Japanese middle school
Yeah.
is American high school.
Yes. Yeah, in
But the
terms of
problem is
difficulty, yeah,
also
absolutely.
the problem is also that Western education is I don't know how to say
Falling
this.
behind, to say the least.
Yeah, not as far ahead as it thinks. I actually, from my own experience, I remember going to a school not in the country in the Midwest, and learning things in science in 4th grade that I then took as a whole, like, it was an entire semester's worth of stuff in grade 6 when I moved to a Midwestern country school. Um, they were 2 years behind. It was kind of messed up.
Yeah, we were on the gifted kid to burnout pipeline. Lane's on the burnt out kid to gifted kid pipeline.
Oh, lucky bastard. When you've been writing for so long, your hands
Yep.
on fire.
Yep. When you're writing so good that you like, yeah, she's just like, oh my god, look at the smoke from my fire writing.
It's what it's like to write my scripts. What's it like when you die? Oh my. Okay.
Smiley face.
Yeah, just cat. Actually, that reminds me of Quantum Maddie. I was right,
Yeah.
the pain
Yep.
stays.
Yep. Yep. And it's like how the when the UIs first get uploaded that they communicate in emojis.
Yep.
Um.
Oh, the pulsing.
Yep.
Man, this show couldn't
We
come out
finally get a bit of
today.
home life. No, no, it's a very slow burn, and this is why it's kind of very polarizing. Like you either really like this shit because you're a bit of a freaking nerd, but or like it just like turns you off because it's so slow. But I mean, it does pick like the pacing definitely picks up.
Something I'm very drawn to is the idea that what we're seeing isn't actually true. So Lane walks into a room and we see that this room ostensibly seems to be her bedroom, and we see a bed, and a desk and a bunch of stuffed animals. However, we don't see anything else. I also want to bring up how the desk isn't actually like set in the corner properly. Now that could just be because the, artist was unable to draw it perfectly, 45-degree or whatever. But I think this is to
Mhm,
indicate that in Lane's conscious, like subconscious, she's only recognizing where she sleeps and where her stuff is. There
mhm,
is
yeah,
other stuff in this room. Like there is like a wardrobe, there is
but
the
it's not
posters on the
relevant, yeah.
wall, but it's
Actually, I
not
think we actually see it later, like, that now that you bring it up, I'm pretty sure that is correct, but, like, yeah.
because it
I
just
can't
it
remember
isn't
exactly, but I do recall
relevant
that
to her consciousness, right? It's like, oh, I
at
gotta
the
put
moment,
my
yeah.
book bag away, so she identifies the desk as the place where she places the bag, and the bed as the place where she places herself, with the silhouette
Mhm.
of her stuffed animals, her accoutrements, as it were, in
It's kind of
stopping the light.
ADHD coded where she can only really pay attention to one thing at a time.
Because then when we see her desk, it is absolutely covered in stuff. So
It's
it's like
messy,
there's
yeah.
this dichotomy of like, how is the room so clean, but the
You can't even
desk is
see it there,
clearly.
actually. Oh, no,
Mhm.
no, it is all there. It is all there, actually.
And then bam, it is absolutely cluttered and full of all
Yeah,
kinds
random
of
shit.
things.
It's
Yeah.
and it's, like, old school tech, like, she's got, like, an old school alarm clock and, like, she doesn't have a computer.
Well, and that was a reality for a lot of households, right? Like you
Mhm.
had
The computer
the
sat in
fan
the yeah.
in the living room. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you were
absolutely, yeah.
lucky, you'd get if the family
Almost no
computer
one had a
ever got
PC, yeah.
upgraded, then you would get the old PC into your
Mhm.
bedroom and that was now your PC, right? But like
Yeah.
and that's how it always was.
We actually see that, with her dad, um, which who we will meet very shortly.
Oh, is that her PC there?
Yes. Yes, actually.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
here we get the infamous bear hat, her adorable ass freaking bear hat.
Whoa. Okay. I know that she's shown to like have the two different like colors of brown for her eyes, and
Mhm.
like we do
Mhm.
see it there,
Mhm.
but like her reflection. Remember how we were saying that the one in the screen looked sinister?
Mhm.
This has like a similar quality, but it's not like sinister. It's
It's
just
foreshadowing the sinisterness, yeah.
yeah, it's kawaii. It's scary. It's all darkened. It's
I
right
love the
like
design of her computer. It's so, like, Pokédex,
I was gonna
like,
say it reminds
not
me of Dexter. Yeah, just a little longer. Log in.
I love how much detail there is in these, like, interfaces on the computer.
She's got a wireless
Oh,
keyboard.
and this Yep, and this is all because she very clearly hasn't used this for a long time, right? Because the reason that she's doing this is because the girls in her class were like, "You should check your mail once a day," which she evidently hasn't been doing.
What? Fucking. I also look at how confused she is.
Mhm. She literally
Also,
never uses it, yeah.
okay, this that is some fucking whatchamacallit. Man looks into the dark forest and sees a
Abyss.
face
Yeah.
back, and the face in the
Yeah.
darkness blinks.
Looks like him.
Right? Like,
Yep.
if we could have seen both of their faces, I would not have been surprised if only the reflection blinked. And like we
That's
see
actually
her
foreshadowing of
reflection
stuff.
in the background still, like it's
I'm gonna just
imprinted.
I mean,
Who are you? And she's like, what?
she can barely type. Love the way the letters come in there. That's so cool.
Fucking voice password? How? This is how you know that it was before Y2K. They were so optimistic about
Yep,
our tech.
absolutely. We still can't do that shit, yeah. We do that for some things, but not phones, yeah.
No, the AI would be like, please say your name. And I would go, Mikola. And it'd be like, denied. And I'd have to go, Mikola.
Michaela.
Do you wish to read your mail?
She's like a deer in the headlights. Excuse me. So so does that mean that that guy in the first scene was talking in English? Because we didn't change this, did we? And this is definitely the sub. So yeah, he must have been.
Yeah.
I've only given up my body. Did you see the
Yeah,
pan?
I'm still alive. Hey.
Yeah. Yep. Literally.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that was a cool transition. As she like you can watch her disassociate in real time
Yep.
as it just glosses over.
Awesome.
You
You will
will
all understand.
all
Everyone
understand
will.
soon.
Why did you die?
Yeah, don't dodge my question.
I love this show so much. I love the music that they add there. Like, there's no music in the whole episode, and just that one part, like the ominous.
I love so
Yep, Kami.
that
Kami is here. Kami is
well,
here.
and it's interesting that you should bring up that it's kami, right? Because it is. That is
Hmm.
what they're saying there.
Yep.
It's being translated as God
Yep.
because that's what kami means. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
kami is here, right? The god of
It's got
this
in a
world.
Japanese context, though. Yeah.
Yeah, the Shinto kami. But more than that, you hear that ringing sound, right?
Yes, which alludes to the kind of Buddhism. Yes.
Classic. Yeah,
Yes.
it's the
Absolutely.
classic Shinto temple bell, the
Shinto. Yep.
purification, like
Hmm.
you ring the bell to get the blessing of God, of kami.
Honestly, like the audio work in this show is just like next level.
I love how her older sister has her hair long on the opposite side.
Yeah.
That's actually how I was able to identify her as the older sister and not some other relation.
Yeah.
Fucking no wonder she's going blind. She keeps reflecting all this light into her fucking eyes. And they watch TV static for fun. For those that don't know, this is something TVs used to do. Like, they used to literally glow. It, I don't know about you, Barry, but it was a very common phrase in my household to sit back from the TV. Otherwise, you'll get square
Mhm.
eyes
Yep. Yep. No, yeah, 100%.
because the fear
Um,
of literally burning your retinas from the glow.
mhm. Yep.
And it was that, like,
And
I'm sure that
also,
hurts some people's eyes watching right now.
it's so interesting, she's just telling her mom, and mom doesn't give a shit.
It's also interesting that when they colored this scene, they gave her red hair. Like it's
Yeah,
not
it's probably
brown.
it's like burgundy, I guess, but yeah.
Me
The
too.
bear onesie.
Dad's home.
Yep. Hello, David Kim.
No, like for real. Bruh, like those things would be so heavy. Like imagine that whole thing. Like that is a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
that's a small board.
confidence to
Yeah.
have in in those legs. Like that is like 50 odd pounds.
Back in those
Probably
days, yeah,
more.
like greens was so heavy back then.
And that's also why the towers are on the
They're
ground
so
or
big.
because like that's another like they were twice as heavy as them sometimes.
He's got a pretty elaborate setup. He's got like a lot of towers there.
Yeah, he could host a LAN party all by him. He could host a Lain party all by himself. And again, we see that this room is completely barren, but like I highly doubt that her father didn't put any decorations on the wall. It's funny, up until a couple of years ago, the PC I was using was basically one of these.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I upgraded to the PC I was using before this one that I was even able to like do things like recording and stuff. Oh man, I didn't even notice this. There's the power behind all of this. Look at that thing. Holy
Yep. He's
crap.
like a server stack there, yeah.
Yeah. How is it? How is it that like Atashi no? How? Why do you have a
Well,
three
I think
syllable word for a one syllable?
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's probably the whole sentence, but they're just trying to show her like hesitating, I guess. Like it's probably because like the word is hesitated on or like the phrase. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like Atashi no wabi, and it's like, okay, I think it's Atashi no is her saying I was, but they just
At
didn't
it's probably
say like
Atashi knows probably I was wondering, and she was probably saying like I was wondering, like Atashi no, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know Japanese.
I just find it fascinating that a culture would like develop a three syllable word for self. That just see why yeah, you gotta bring that motherfucker down. Single syllables. That that ideal pronouns. Yeah, so he's saying you're in junior high now. So that implies so yeah, that goes back to that what I was saying earlier about like she's in 7th or 8th grade because I believe
Mhm.
it's 6th grade that is considered the end of elementary school. I wish that's how shit worked. That's some fucking Jarvis. Pull this up for me.
Yeah.
Right away, sir. I have two screens right now. Like when my mouse leaves on the left-hand screen, it's now going to my other screen that you can't see. I I
I mean,
cannot
it's certainly
write a
stylistic,
program to
but
do that.
yeah. It's definitely a stylistic choice, yeah.
They were so optimistic.
Quite
Whoa.
creepy.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing. She might inherit her disassociative quality from her father.
Yeah.
Her father
Yeah,
is
definitely.
face blind.
Um, I think it has to do with the yeah, maybe, maybe.
Because when he
I think
looks
it
at
has
the
to do with the
screen
wired, but
when he looks at the screen here, the
no one
thing
has
that's
faces,
shared,
yeah.
they don't have faces.
Mhm,
He recognizes that there's a person there, but he's face blind,
mhm.
which then leads into, this whole connectivity and like because he has to see and interact with the world on a different layer that most people take for granted, right? In order to establish a connection with someone, he can't rely on what they look like, right? Like he has to, figure out
Well, every
other
episode is
ways.
referred to a layer as well, like episode 1 is layer 1, episode 2 is layer 2.
Yeah. Well, and there's also something to be said about how the facelessness also plays into the anonymity of the internet.
Well, that's yes, it's basically that everyone on the Wired is essentially
Faceless.
anonymous,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think she said?
What her mother like, what the mother said.
No, what Lain said. So this is a moment where the author is deliberately holding information from us for,
Mhm.
just like whatever symbolic reason. So the last thing her father says is, "I wonder why your mother can't understand that." And then Lain says something, and her father doesn't respond, and then Lain now properly responds to what he says. So, what do you think Lain said?
I think she was either hesitating or that sh well, I don't know. What do you think she said?
If I were to
I'm not fully
guess,
sure.
I think, and I have no this complete leap of faith. I think she said,
Mhm.
"You're wrong,"
Yeah. Well, I
right?
mean, that would back
Like,
up her then saying, like, "I'm not scared." She's like,
well, and the idea
yeah.
of because she's starting to disassociate and the
Mhm.
foreshadowing we had with like
Yep.
Sinister Lane, and she seemed in
Yep.
this moment, it seems she disagrees with the perspective her father is bringing up. And it is a very common trope, especially in daughters of fathers, to be rebellious and to, fight back against the what is presented as the truism of the previous generation. There's something to be said also about her father then not acknowledging her rebellion. So she
Hey, you're
then,
wrong, yeah.
yeah, she he doesn't even like acknowledge it as worthy of like fighting, right? And thus she goes back to the disassociative, cowed, I'm not scared.
Yep. Well, it's because he's so willing to jump into the Wired, so he's like he has the same attitude as the young generation, which Lane's starting to get, because she's being left behind, so weird ass noise. What was that?
You can tell that she's just envisioning the dude running alongside the train. In the era before phones. Oh man. Oh, so immediately we already know what happened here. Do you want to say it or shall I?
Go ahead.
Someone has jumped in front of the train.
Yes, yes, because we are in Japan, and this is a story about okay, no, I shouldn't say that, but
No, you are correct.
okay.
This is a story set in Japan, and Japan has a
Yeah,
long and colorful history with the three syllable word starting with S that YouTube will hate.
taking this
Um, but it is a huge theme that they, because of how they
yeah,
wrestle with duty and living and the role that the living play to the overall society, right? The greater good of everyone comes at the toll of oneself, and that often comes at the extreme detriment of one's mental health, which leads to people seeking all sorts of ways of dealing with it.
yeah. It is a unfortunate reality.
And this is years and this is decades before the psychology will even have begun to properly assess these problems and start to come up with solutions, let alone have the infrastructure that we have today where we can help someone with all sorts of connections and resources. I highly encourage you to reach out to someone that you love that you know is struggling and remind them that they are loved, because my goodness, we
Yeah.
take for granted the people in our
Well,
lives and we don't know what
and
people are struggling with.
I hate to continue to hop on it, but, like, holy moly, is that prophetic of the current world.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The bigger our net, the less fish we catch in it.
mhm.
So
More
yeah.
connected and thus less connected.
Yeah. Tell a friend that you love them.
God, this show is creepy.
Do you think the blood
Love
is
the
real
sound
in
of
that
night in this
moment?
scene. Yes, I'd say so.
I don't.
'Cause I think okay. I mean,
Just
she yeah,
logistically, because of where she's probably some cart in the middle of the train, right? The train
mhm,
hit the
mhm.
guy and it hit at the front. If I
Why
mean,
would she be seeing it if she's looking out the window? Yeah,
now,
that makes
granted,
sense.
the inertia of the train could have put her to the point, like her cart could be where the impact happened now, but I think it's
Mm,
because Lane subconsciously knows, like we were able to, very aptly and adequately explain there, what happened, and is subconsciously
yeah.
putting the blood there because that's what she's thinking about.
What she's paying attention to, yeah.
But I will admit, it is not impossible for the inertia of the train to have put her cart at the point of impact.
Yeah, it wow, she's really dissociating now. She's,
Yeah,
like,
like
teleporting.
well, she's like in the street, bottom of stairs. People are losing all sense of
Fading
shape, no longer
away.
existing. Now everything is gone until, oh, she's at one of the three places, four, two places even that she's at the most. I'll say three because the train seems to be a constant, right? Home, school,
Mhm.
train.
Yeah.
And it's like, is there even school today? Or are you just, where are you, Lane? What are you doing? Well, when a
Her eyes are
child
starting to get
goes,
bigger.
yeah, the eye.
Oh, it's blue now. And we get the smoke. So this yeah, okay, so the smoke coming out of oh, her shadow as well. God, there's a lot there. There was so much there in, like, 10 seconds. Holy crap.
Huh. We open up the weir, the fishing net. She's caught in the trap. The reflection of the net that's caught her. And suddenly she's
And
out on
like
the
straight
street.
away we get so it's interesting because why do you think the blood splattering is now like purple or blue? Is it because she's like dissociating, like, or is it because like is it is she having a treat at EP? Like,
I think she's on the path of acceptance instead of
mm,
despair.
yeah,
She isn't
interesting the
becoming
shape of
a
her shadow in that
lamenter.
shot. Some
Oh,
footsteps.
and
She's
now
on some
she's
train
on.
tracks.
Yeah, she had to go to where it happened,
Yeah.
and the brain fog. Someone is coming out to save her life, but she thinks that she's seeing the event as it happened. Or maybe it is the event, and she's just like hallucinating how she thinks it happened.
Which would kind of back up what you were saying before about the reason she could see the blood.
Oh,
God, the
that's.
creepy smile.
Oh!
Yeah, you get the dichotomy of like the innocence and the like sinister face.
By the way, in this instance, I think the train is real, and I think it just honked at her, but she's too busy like seeing
Yes.
this.
Yes, I agree.
What do you think she says there?
I mean, I assume it's something along the lines of like, "What are you doing?" or like, "Why are you doing this?" or like,
Yeah, I lean
um,
towards the second one, definitely. Like, why? Why are you here?
yeah. Again, like, there's just so it's that weird like serene beauty, but like mixed with this sheer terror, but mixed with that like, oh god, that's such a cool shot.
The art. Also,
Yeah, that's a
these
gorgeous,
trains,
gorgeous
if
sequence.
you're like if you're not careful, actually, ironically, if I'm not mistaken, ducking down low is one of the worst things she could have done because of the airflow could suck her underneath.
Mhm. Mm. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, God, that's such a cool sequence. The animation there is really cool.
It reminds me of the Lion King with the wildebeest stampede. Me stressing over
She's
videos.
sweating. Yeah, like is
How
any of this
much,
real?
yeah,
Like,
how much of what we just went through between here and the last time we were in this classroom, how much of that was real? And how much of it
yeah,
happened in here?
uh, yeah, hard to say.
Or is this scene merely to show that, like, she's back at the same place she was earlier?
Could be a bit of both. Like, I mean, you would assume logically that, ooh,
Who do you think's telling her that?
I mean, I know that it's herself, but
Fair
um,
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And it's something that Chisa told her as well. So like we're supposed to think that it's Chisa.
I was kind of wondering if the English written there
Mm.
would like mean anything.
I
That's
was
why I
thinking,
paused it there, just like
yeah.
taking a moment.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Oh,
Oh,
I get a bunch of colors now.
and her
She's really
hair is
confused.
blackened. She's shadowed. She's downcast. Oh,
Ooh, Chisa out of
oh.
nowhere because the wide is overlapping with reality because more people are throwing away their bodies.
That reminds me of this is gonna sound really cheesy. It reminds me of the ghost girl in Pokemon.
Mm,
It's a bit
yeah,
of a
absolutely.
recurring trope where she'll just like appear and then disappear. It felt very similar to
Well,
like a sprite in a video game just like popping in and out of existence.
it reminds me of like the two faces of Rani, like
Oh.
she's in one world versus the other world. Yeah, such a cool. There's so
And
many
there's
cool
fact that there's
sequences
no
in this show.
sound either. Man, nowadays it would be so easy. People would feel so easily compelled to put a sound or something or some sort
Sound
of
effect,
like
yeah.
little like giggle or something. And this just revels in you blink, you miss it.
I love the music. Such a vibe. I can hear so much indie video game influence in this soundtrack. Like, well, not in the soundtrack, but like in future games. So cool. The wires in her glasses. I love that.
And then when she turns into this, they don't exist. Oh no, I guess
Mhm.
they yeah, no, as soon as she becomes this, her glasses are gone. They're no longer a part of her model
Yep.
or like her
'Cause
thing.
because she gave them up in the when she killed herself.
Yeah, she's
She
become
didn't take them to the
perfected.
next world.
It's her ideal form.
Mhm.
And I think so to answer your question, I think it's blue because she's communing with the other side. Like I was saying, like she's accepting and thus she's um it's a commingling as opposed to
Mhm.
like distortive. It's similar to like how Melkor, right? When he was singing his song, it was like a discordant, right? That's the red. It's the discord. It's when you don't you're not meshing correctly. You violently lash out. She's connecting, so it's all blue and yeah.
Yeah, we get it. It's interesting we get, like, a red and blue kind of dichotomy. Um, Such a cool shot. Oh my god. Yeah, and it's right there, the red and blue. Yep. Yeah, really cool first episode. There is a weird, especially in the game, there's some very weird scenes with, Lain, um, where she is kind of like I don't wanna say that she's sexualized here, I think it's more of a, uh, new Adam or, like, new God kind of imagery of the, like, innocence of a child that can become God kind of thing, but yeah, not yeah. Yeah, some very clear womb imagery here.
Yeah, I
The
find
machine
it
is giving birth to her.
yeah, it's I think it's I honestly, all of this might need to like just have a big old black box over it, if I'm being
No,
completely
I
honest.
agree.
There's the
Absolutely.
fact that we're lingering on, I don't even know that
Yes.
I can describe it without getting canceled.
Yes. There's a few scenes from the video game where, like, Lain basically, like, puts a gun in her mouth and kills herself, and there's, like it's, like, weirdly voyeuristic. Um, yeah. I guess we'll just note that for
Oh,
what it
she's
is, and we'll just kind of
14. So that's what?
yeah.
That is grade 7, yeah.
Mhm, mhm. I mean, yeah, kind of like thing and, like, kinda have to acknowledge that about some Japanese media
I
that
mean, it's rated R for a fucking reason.
yes, exactly right. It is it is a gory series. It has some heavy fucking themes. Um, so yeah, don't watch it if you're feeling like shit.
Yeah. Or, only watch it with us, where, we'll tell you that we love you and to remind someone that you love them, because just because
Yes.
you love them doesn't mean that they actively think about it. And you'll always make
Mhm.
someone's life better by telling them you
Well,
love them.
that is pretty much the point of the series is that, like, isn't it sad that all these people, are so willing to give up their bodies and, transition to a world where they feel more connected, quote unquote.